Hello guys, so we are going to start our class properly and we are sorry for the break in the sections. This is due to some unforeseen circumstances, and for us to start our class without further break, we are going to have a continuous class based on this trend. So I created a PowerPoint for us to have that achieved. So here is what we are going to be doing. We're going to start with the logical function, the if, the ifs, the if error, and all that. Then also the lookup function, though this lookup should be our last because of the technicality involved. Then also our text function, we are going to do this as well. Then, then we are also going to have our date and time, dated if, today, date, month, and year using short formula, now function, then and others as well. But make sure for you not to miss any class, make sure to have subscribed to my YouTube channel, you like and you share. Then also you comment under the comment section on what you need to know or what aspects you want us to focus on. This will give us motivation and area of focus. So you can do this on my YouTube channel, my Facebook handle, and my LinkedIn account. So this will enable us to be connected and never miss a class out. So for us to start with, we are going to start with the logical function where we have the if. And before we do this, I want to take you to the step by step on how to get your data. So you can try to get your data from the online source. You can source your data from online. But for this class, we are going to be using ChatGPT, which I said in my last class. So ChatGPT, this is what I prompted ChatGPT. So you should draft a list of 100 students with their full names. Then I'm supposed to divide the names, first name, second, middle name, and last name. If I do this, it will give me each of these names in different columns. But because I didn't do it, it gave me the name, the first and last name in a single column. I will explain what I mean by that. So it also gives us their test for first and second score, then their exam score in separate column. So Excel understood what I prompted and it gave me a link to have access to what I asked. So when you click on this link now, okay, it is going to start downloading the file. So for me, I have downloaded the file. And that is what we are going to be using. You can actually tweak this Excel prompt. You can prompt it with your own language, so it's going to give you the result. So this is what I downloaded. Though if you download it, you will have you'll not be able to have access to it fully. You need to remove the enable editing, which will be by the top, I think around here. You see it around here. So you need to enable editing for you to have access to the file. So for this, we can see our full name, our exam score. The names are not same fully. So for us to do that, we have learned how to resize a cell. We have learned how to resize the cell. Okay, so we need to resize the cell, and also I want to add an extra column here. I want to add an extra column. So the extra column, I also to give us the short keys to be able to add a column. So for those that are just joining, kindly go back to our YouTube channel to follow up on all of this. So this cell, I want to name it, this column, I want to name it egg number. Or you can just write it as SN as well. So let's start with SN so that we can learn much. Okay, SN. So for this, I will resize this column. So SN, we have 1, 2, 3. These are numbers, and we have different ways we can tell Excel, about 4 different ways we can tell Excel to automatically fill all of this. Imagine we are going to 1000, and we are going to 1000. So this is the file, this is the count. Down here, we are going to 1000 files. We are going to 1000. So doing that, if you continue typing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you get tired, you get exhausted. So there are easy ways for us to do this. So the first is to either we put on our, so we are going to highlight this first two. This is the first method down, highlighting the two and dragging down. But personally, I don't like this dragging down. Imagine I'm still dragging down to 1000. What if my sets, my file or my data set is about 1000, 1 million? I'll continue dragging down to 1 million. So this is not actually something I love. I don't like stress because Excel also wants everything to be easy for us. So what I do instead of dragging down like that, what I do instead is to, you know, highlight the two, 1 and 2. Then I will come to the left, the right part of of this file, of the column. You can see this sign now. We are showing this is showing us a bigger sign of plus. So when you go down, it's going to show us another sign. So let me highlight this so that we can know what I'm talking about. So let us focus on this arm. Let's focus on this arm. Okay. So you can see that when I now go down further, you can see it has changed sign. Then when I go to the extreme end, it has now changed the icon to another plus icon. So here now, I can now double click. When I double click, it will automatically fill the other numbers. You can see, instead of dragging down, this is actually the step I love most. So some people also do this. This work on what's it called? It works when you're having 001, so that it will be the absolute number of what you are typing in. So what do I mean? So let's undo this. Okay. So 001. I want to type 001 now. See what will happen. It will still give me 1. But I don't want it to give me this 1. I want to give me the exact 001 that I type in. So for that, I need to put in a sign before my number. So I need to put what? A sign before my number. So for that, let me change this back to reg number. Reg number. So the reg number we are going to have is 001, right? So I'm going to put in a sign, as I said earlier, we should call it delimiter. So I'm going to put in a delimiter before my 1. So this 001 002. So now you can see that it is now giving me the exact 001 and 002. So I will highlight both of them and double click to have it downward. You can see that Excel is giving us an error message. This is showing an error message. So to do this, we can actually ignore the error message, or we can still decide to leave it like that. But I will leave it like that so that we can cover much things today. Okay, let me remove the error message. So ignore error. So I think that's okay. We are good to go. We are good to go. Okay. So now, in the course of our lecture, we can actually, under this full name, we can separate the names, first and last name. We can separate them into different columns. When we get to our test function, we are going to talk on that. So what we want to do here is to grade our students, is to grade them. So in our grade, that's where we now use our if function. That's where we now use our if function. So for that, what we want to do is that, okay, let's do different. Before we go to if function, let us do our sum function. Let us do our sum function total. So in Excel, before you start typing in a formula, Excel will not recognize whatever you are doing. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's say we want to add 3 different numbers. We want to have this 17. Okay, we want to add these numbers. This is our first test and second test with exam score. We want to add them together. So that's what we want to do now. So Excel will not recognize you doing that by just doing like this. Let's say 17 plus 18 plus 22. Excel will not recognize it. It will just give you as you have written it. So for Excel to recognize it as a formula, you need to start with the equals to sign. For Excel to recognize that as a formula, we need to start with an equals to sign. So don't forget we want to do the arithmetical function of if. Okay, for that we can actually do it of three ways or two ways, but we want to do the easiest method. Well, let's just do the three. Okay, so the first method is to actually click on the cell where we have the first test, second test, and the exam score. Okay, so first test, then click on plus, second, plus, third, and we click, we hit the enter button. So this has given us the sum of the first, second, and the exam score, which is 57. Okay, that's the first method. Okay, the second method, which is very simple and I love using. Imagine where we're having about 1000 things to add up. So you click, you continue clicking on plus, 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 and that. So what I do is to use the Excel formula, so which is equals to, as I told you earlier, to start an Excel formula, we need to hit the equals to button. So we use the sum function. So you said sum function, this add all the numbers in a range of cells. So that is what this function will do to us. Okay, so this is what it will do to us. Now, so after clicking on this, we now open a bracket. So number one, comma, number two. So Excel is guiding you on what to do to be able to achieve this formula or to be able to use this formula properly. So we are going to, it is either you hit on the first cell which has 17, then click on the comma, click on the second cell, comma. That's what Excel is telling you. You see, when we, okay, let's start again. So when we hit on the first one, Excel will tell us to what, to go to the next one after putting in the comma. You see number 2. When I click the second column with 18, then I hit the comma button, it's going to move to number 3. Okay, so it's now moving to number 3. So that is the second method, which is to give us 57. Now the third method, which is much easier for me, that is what I use most times. That is when I want to add up everything without breaking in the cells. So what I do is sum function also, open the bracket. So we now highlight all the cells together. So this will create a range. So you are telling Excel to add up these 3 cells that have been highlighted. So it is either you decide to close the brackets or hit the enter button. So it will give us the same result. So this is what I use mostly. So you can use any of the 3, which one you prefer. Okay, so I will delete this and use the one I prefer. Okay, so now one thing in Excel is that I don't need to keep doing this for this number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need to do that. What I will just do is to what? Is to double click. Don't forget. Instead of dragging down, okay, let's do the dragging down. See, I told you I don't like dragging down. I don't like it. So what I do is so what I do instead is to double click so that all the cells will be filled down to 1000 or down to wherever it is. Okay, so now what we want to do again is to grade our students. Okay, someone messaged me yesterday about this particular thing we're about to do. So now we want to use the first function. Okay, the first function here says if returns a value based on a condition. Okay, it returns a value based on a condition. This is what we're talking about here. So that is the first thing we want to do, and I think that is, we are going to do about 2 of them or maybe 1 today. Okay, depending on the time we have. I have less than 10 minutes again. So before we want to grade them now, so let us write our grading here. Score, grade. So we said score. Okay, so let's do it this way. Um, okay, so we are going to use this method instead. Okay, yeah. So now this is our grade. Oh, this is our grade. Now this is the condition we want to give to it. So from 70 to 100, that will be A. From 60 to 69, that will be B. Okay, so now let's put here as remark. Okay, so now this remark, now in remark we have remark. Let's add remark. Our remark should be pass, pass, pass. It is also pass. D is also pass. Then E, let's say E is fail. Then here is also fail. Okay, so now in remark we have two. So in this case now we can use the if function. We can use what? If function. Let's start from, okay, let's do it this way. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. Grade. Remark should come first before grade. So okay, I think this is good. So now to use the if function, don't forget we said we are going to start with what? With the equals to sign. So equals to, click on our if. So what did he say? He said, okay, he said checks whether a condition is met and return one value if true and another value if false. So now if this number here, the total column, if the person reach the condition we are giving to it, then we can give it as a pass. Then if not, fail. So what do I mean? Let's start that. I love practicalizing something. As an accountant, we practicalize. I would prefer practice or practical compared to the theory. So now if I will not select the cell I want it to look for. So we are going to select on the first cell here. If this, okay, if this is greater than or equals to, then we are now going to select our criteria. Okay, we are going to select our criteria, and by selecting our criteria, we come for that. Oh, this is not stopped. So we're going to say if this cell is what it's greater than or equals to. Now, because we are giving it two function now, we are going to click on the, sorry, that's it. Because we are talking on what's it called now? Two argument now, which is the pass or the fail. That's where we are using the if function. You understand? So if it is greater or equals to what? So we are going to find the one that has the lowest. So the lowest here is D, which is 40. So if it is greater or equals to 40, then it should give it as a what? As a pass. Okay, as a pass. Then what is the first function or the first message? If it is not up to 40, then we should now what? Make it as a fail. Okay. So observe that whenever we are typing this fail and pass, we put in a quotation mark that is double apostrophe. The reason is because we are putting in a what's it called? A letter, an alphabet into the function. If we were using the text function, then it would be a different case. But for whatever, let's just focus on this for now. So we are now going to hit the enter. Okay, what error have we made? Okay, to get this, how many inputs were coming? If pass, okay, we are good to go. If function, if value, pass, okay. What did I put? I went and put dots, so that's why it's not giving us that. It's not giving us the result we wanted. If you put, but that's one thing in Excel also. When you make a single mistake, it's going to give you an error message. So instead of using comma, I use dots. So that will not give us the required something. So I will not hit my enter again now. You can see it's what? It is pass. Of course, 50 is pass, right? 50 is within this range. 50 is within this range, which is pass, right? So that's what we're going to do. So now I'll click on the first thing that we just worked on, and I'll double click so that all other ones will automatically fill themselves. So let's see where we have a fill. Okay, let's see where we have a fill. So we have a fill here. Find words. So let's see where we have a fill. Seems all of them passed. Okay, see a fill here. See a fill here. That is Elizabeth's Gusel. That is a fill. This is another fill here. Okay, so that's how to navigate our if function. Hope this is understood. Now, I said if function is used when we are dealing with a single argument. And the reason why I created this remark as this is because we want to what? Practicalize the if function. I can still decide to make this our remark to make it excellent. You know, A is what? Is excellent. B is very good. You know, C is good. D is fair. I can still do it like that. But if I do it like that, let's say excellent, excellent, very good, good, fair, poor, and very poor. Right? This is how we do it, right? So I can still make this as a remark. But in this case, we are not going to be using the if function anymore because our arguments are now more than 2. There are about 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are about how many of them? 6 of them. 6 of them. Okay, so we have the first one, which is this. The second one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Compared to where we have our 1 and 2. So if function can only be used when you have a fewer arguments. But when you now have more than one argument, that is when you now use another function known as the ifs function. You can see it, right? Known as the ifs function, sorry. Known as the if function. Okay, so it said ifs takes multiple conditions and return the first 2 results. So that is the second function, and I don't know if you can actually do that today, but let's see what we can do. So now let's talk about the grade. Let's forget about this remark. Okay, so let's talk about the grade. Let's talk about the grade. Let's talk about the grade. Okay, don't mind me. So we said we cannot use if anymore. What we now use was ifs. Ifs. So we said check whether one or more conditions are met and return a value corresponding to the first 2 conditions. Now, so to do this, let's open our bracket. If we are going back to the first what's it called? The first cell where we want to work on, which is this. Don't forget, we're always working on the first cell so that we can easily drag down and make everything automatically. So if this cell is what? Is greater than or equals to 70. Don't forget, is equals to what? Or greater than 70. Now this is our conditional. Sorry. This is going to be our conditional. So this is what we are focusing on. These 2. Okay. So now if it is greater than or equals to 70, then what should happen? You should make it as what? As A. As A. Okay. So this also happens, or you can also use this formula when you want to grade your employee. Okay. If what's it called? If manager, then give them. Okay. So if it is greater or equals to 70, then you should grade it as what? As A. That is the first condition. Now let's go to the second condition. You can see logical test 2. We have lived, or we are done with logical test 1. We are now in what? Logical test 2. Now what do we say on this? If we are going to select on the same cell, we are going to select on the same cell, this cell here, we are going to select on the same cell. That is what is going to be our condition all through till we are done with our if function. So if this same cell is greater than or equals to what now? 60. Don't forget, we have our conditions here. So then what should happen? What should happen? Should give it a what? A B. Are we together? So this is what they use in our schools, either university and all that. So I think I should just rush through before our time elapses again today. So we are going to select on the same cell, then greater than or equals to, well, that's what? 50. We should give it what? A C. Then if the same cell is greater than or equals to what? 40, we should give it what? A D. Should give it a D. Then also if that same cell is greater than or equals to 30, you should give it what? You should give it a E. Then finally, if that same cell is greater than or equals to, now we want to use this of two things now. If you are using greater than or equals to, then we are going to click on 0. Okay, but if we are using less than, okay, sorry, let's use less than here. If you are using less than or equals to, then in this case we are going to use what? 29. Do you understand? Okay, so let me use 29. Then we can now what? Okay, we've not given it the condition. So the condition should be what? Should be F. Should give it a F. Then we can now close our brackets. You can see. So 57 falls under what? 57. This 57 here. It falls under what? It falls under here, of course. So it's giving what? A C automatically. Do we understand? So what we need to do in this case is just to drag down. Drag down, then everything will automatically fill itself. Now, I want to give us an assignment based on this. So I want to give us an assignment based on this. We are going to have another remark here. We are going to have another remark here. Okay. We are going to have another remark here. So this remark now, what I want to do is remark. What I want to do is we are going to put in this formula. Okay, excellent. Very good. Fair, right? Poor, very poor. Okay, so this is what your assignment will be. Just the same way we did this our grade. You try to fill in this remark also. That is going to be our assignment. Okay, so let's name this as student file. Students file. File. Okay, yes. Student file. So that is that, and I wish you guys understood. Don't forget to follow for more. Okay, take care. See you next time.